Hi, this is John for Outstanding Poker. Um, just recording myself playing some Zoom sessions. So I'm going to go through these sessions now and point out the differences between playing Zoom on PokerStars and just playing normal six max games because they play really differently. So one of the main differences is that most players play a lot tighter because of the fast fold button. Zoom poker is very much like what was on Full Tilt with the Rush poker, where you can get through a lot more hands because of this option to fast fold. So as soon as you get dealt your cards, if you don't like them, you just click fold and then you're on to the next table. So people just playing a lot tighter and playing a tighter range because they're just waiting for good hands. There's still going to be there's still some action junkies there just wanting to play every hand. So there's definitely still some weak players to be taken advantage of. So another thing about Zoom is it's more difficult to accumulate stats on players because it's a much larger player pool. It's like sometimes it'll be like 200 players all getting swapped about going to different tables and stuff like that. So you might have to play for quite a while before you get some heads up, some decent heads up display stats on the different players. So you'll have to start off by going with some fairly basic reads like the main one will be stack size reads. Right, and also getting position on a weaker player is harder because we'll be sat in random seats all the time. So I guess for all the players that are tired of having to do all that table selecting, move from table to table, just trying to get a decent spot, and then as soon as you get a decent spot at a table and that player leaves, you have them sessions where you just can't get a decent spot at a table, and it can be annoying. So if you just can't be asked with doing some table selecting, then this is a good way to get around that because you just get thrown on any random seat. So you do need a little bit of luck to keep ending up at a table with some weak players and having a playable hand when they've got a hand that they think is playable, but still, it can be a lot of fun. So one of the main things that makes this Zoom profitable is that the blinds are just dead easy to steal because there's tons and tons of players are seeing the cards in small blind and big blind, and then they've already quick fold and they're on to the next hand. So let's have a look. So the strategy adjustments we're going to make is we're going to steal a lot more from the cutoff and button. I guess when you're playing normal six max, you want to be stealing like 20-25% from the cutoff, or playing 20 to 25% of hands, and then from the button it should be 35 to 40%, maybe more depending on the blinds. In Zoom play, you want to be looking at stealing like 35% and then 60% plus. I think after a while in this session that I'm going to show now, I'm pretty sure my stats were kind of showing like 36 and 70% steals from cutoff and button, especially. And you've got to do this especially versus the players that are not adjusting, because after a while you will start to see some players that are, well, you're going to accumulate some stats and you're going to be able to tell, which players you're going to be able to steal off quite a lot. Also, versus regs that know that they should be stealing a lot more from late positions, then we should be three betting them more from the blinds until they adjust to our three betting. So what you'll find as well is if you play back at someone, they very rarely will bluff back because of the nature of Zoom poker. They think, what's the point in getting involved in a big massive pot when I've only got a marginal hand where I can fold right now and get on to the next hand within about a few seconds. So people are less inclined to play back at you. So three bets generally tend to work more. If you do get played back at, then you're usually playing against a strong range as well. That's another thing as well. Yeah, let's go on to the next bit. C betting as much as possible versus the ABC players, because similar to what I just said before about when you three betting a reg. Versus these ABC players, they're just going to want to see a flop quite a lot of the time, and then when they miss it, then but if you continuation bet, then you'll usually see an instant fold because they've already decided that they're not going to carry on playing because they can just go and see the next hand as quick as possible. So they're wanting to fold and get on with it. And then last of